welcome to this edition of Newsletter on 6. I'm Jim Fuller. In tonight's news, Tulahoma's local theater has been closed again. Tulahoma Parks and Recreation Department has some suggestions on how not to be bored, and Governor Lee invites citizens to a day of prayer and fasting. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's Newsletter on 6.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tulahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tulahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Here at McNally Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tulahoma. We'd always done business with McNally, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in the event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at McNally Collision Center.
Hi, I'm Fran Gray with Alzheimer's Tennessee. When you receive a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease for yourself or someone you love, please know that you do not have to go through this journey alone. Alzheimer's Tennessee is here for you to provide support and education, all the help you may need to get through this challenge. Our number is 931-434-2348. We encourage you to give us a call. We're here to help.
Welcome back. More than 7,000 movie screens will be dark in the U.S. this weekend, including Regal's 8 in Tulahoma, as the Regal Theater chain shut down all 536 locations. The chain said, quote, "The closure reflects an increasingly challenging theatrical landscape due to the COVID-19 pandemic and is temporary," end quote. Regal is shutting down theaters again less than 2 months after it started to reopen U.S. locations in late August. The decision was announced after the James Bond franchise's No Time to Die was shelved until 2021, further pushing back a release that had already been delayed. Regal is the second largest film exhibitor in the U.S., and the company estimated approximately 40,000 Regal employees across the U.S. now face a work furlough. The Montana Drive-In Theater in Estill Springs continues to run some new movies along with many older movies at the theater. They have also been airing live concerts on the big screen for special events. Lyle Russell from the Tulahoma Parks and Rec Department recently spoke with Newsleader's John Gray about some activities they've got to help people not be so bored during this time of COVID.
With some of the restrictions that were lifted by the governor's Tennessee pledge, we're working on some plans right now to start some programming back up.
Good.
Nothing definitive yet, but we're trying to figure out a safe way to return to doing lunch and learns, and we're looking into some of the fall sports, possibly junior NBA. So we've got some upcoming programs that may show a return to a little bit of normalcy with our events at Parks and Rec. But since we're not there yet, I brought by today something that I made that I have put out there for parents to
That's great.
to use. You know, it's fall break right now, so you know, when parents are home with their kids, and well, even when it's not fall break, even when they're just home on a weekend or something, and it's a dreary day and you don't have anything to do, you always hear, "I'm bored."
Right.
You know, anybody who
can't go to the indoor pool, can't go play basketball, can't.
Right. So we were sitting around trying to come up with some ways that we could bring some programming to our citizens out there, and so we came up with this thing right here. Now this is 2 cards. I've got it together on one sheet, but this is 2 cards, and these are free. You can go on our website and download it, or you can go to our Facebook page and download it. But this is called the I'm Bored Nature Explorer Hunt. It's like a scavenger hunt.
I'm bored, find me something.
Well, I'm going to leave this with you to give you something to do later today. But what we've done is we've gone through and picked out on each card, there's 15 things that you can go outside or go and do around your yard or at your house to just give you something to do. You know, for example, like this one up here, there's 2 different colors, red and blue. Red is a little bit easier, blue is a little bit harder, and these are geared for little kids. But you know, take a selfie if you have a tablet or a camera, or draw yourself with a tree.
Okay.
Find a fungus and draw it. One of the other ones is go for a walk with a grown-up and pick up 3 pieces of trash while you're out there if it's safe to do so. So it's just little things like that that kids can do. And the cool thing about this is that parents can modify this any way they want to. If they want to make it harder, want to make it easier, gear it towards your child. But when they come to you and you're standing there doing something, oh, Mom, I'm bored, or Dad, I'm bored, you can pull out one of these cards and said, here you go. And this may take more than a day to do. A couple of these are a little bit hard. So that was one of the things we started with. Like I said, this is for younger kids.
Right.
I'm working on one for a little bit older, teenager
That's wonderful.
section kids. And then I'm also working on an adult one for parents that want to go out and do something like this too, or for groups of friends that want to try to get together and, in these times of COVID and go outdoors and do some things. So those are forthcoming, but the one for little kids is here.
I can remember back in the day, church groups and everyone would have treasure hunts. And they would go out, and you'd have teams, youth teams, and you'd have to search the community.
Yeah.
And of course that's when people were you could put 20 in a car.
Exactly.
And with young people, and they were having a big time going looking for the red ball with a purple dot in the middle of it somewhere.
Exactly. Or find this sign and take a picture with it.
Right. So this is a great idea.
And this is something that can be done by themselves. You don't have to have a group. You can give this card to them with a little adult guidance, for the younger ones, so they can know what they're looking for. Yes, and don't eat anything that you find. Don't eat the mushrooms in your yard or any of that kind of stuff. Kids like to do that, so I want to taste it and put it in my mouth. So we came up with that, and like I said, we're working on a couple of other ones. So we're pretty excited about that. It's not.
That's great, man.
It's not normal programming yet, but it's something that you can do at home. And in other news, we're trying to do some things outdoors, and we were the recipient of a $1,000 grant from the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency for aquatic stream cleanup. And so our grant proposal nominated the new trailhead over by the Food Lion and Ollie's parking lot right there, by where the old Fuji factory used to be. So that's now the Greenway Trailhead, and Rock Creek runs adjacent to that for about 120 yards or so from the Lincoln Street Bridge down to the edge of our property. And so we got this grant to go down in there and clean up the shoreline, clean out some of the trash that blows in off of the parking lot, clean out the stream. Future plans, hopefully we will be able to expand it going back towards where Farrah Elementary is.
Yeah, because that's a sort of a ravine back there that comes off of that back road.
Yeah, this is before that.
It's ugly back there.
Yeah, it's pretty thick. But what we're doing here is we're just going to clean out the shoreline from the bridge, like I said, about 100 yards down. That's the first phase.
Right.
Then the second phase is we're going to go in and remove some of the dead wood and some of the little scrub trees and make it a nice place that you can go down there and sit, if you wanted to go down there and have lunch, or just make it a more scenic view of the creek from the Greenway.
We'll be right back after these messages.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tulahoma is ready to help you live well.
Sir, could you step over here, please? Is there anything you want to tell me?
Like what?
Like maybe you're out to protect the environment?
Give scholarships to kids?
Fight blindness?
Help the elderly?
Feed the hungry? Stuff like that.
Well, I only asked because you got a little lion in you.
See? Right there.
Right next to whatever that other thing is.
My great-grandfather started it in 1900, and now it's 2020, which is 120 years. We still measure your feet, still try to help you find a good fit. We're just a good old-fashioned shoe store where we'll measure your feet, make sure you're in the right size, and help you find a comfortable shoe for men, women, and children.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Welcome back. The 51st Annual Tims Ford Region Car Show will be at Babe Ruth Ballpark in Decker next weekend, Saturday, October the 17th. Registration begins at 8 a.m. and awards will be given out at 3 p.m. There's a $15 entry fee for the first car and $10 per additional car. Awards will be determined by popular vote. This annual event is usually held at North Middle School, but because of the construction there, it will be hosted at the park. Scheduled events include door prizes, 50-50 drawings, dash plaques, concessions, a DJ, and trophies for the top 25 cars, plus trophies for specialty awards, and the award for best club participation will include a $50 prize. This event is sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts, and for more information, you can contact Archie Hunt at 931-315-9309 or visit their Facebook page by searching for Tims Ford Region AACA. Proceeds from the event will go to a trade school scholarship for local high school students and to fund the continuation of the club. Last week, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee released a video detailing his hope that citizens will join together on Thursday, October 15th for a day of prayer and fasting.
Hey everybody, I've got a special announcement for you today as we begin October and acknowledge the final 92 days left in 2020. You may remember last year, I proclaimed a day of prayer and fasting for our state because prayer strengthens our families and our communities and our relationship with God Himself. This year, I'm again proclaiming a statewide day of prayer and fasting on Thursday, October 15th. There's no doubt that events this year, from natural disasters to COVID-19 to uncertainty within our communities, many Tennesseans have been left with a sense of unease and are feeling disheartened. For our 2020 day of prayer and fasting, it's my hope that we can walk confidently together before God as we seek mercy for our state and ask for continued grace over our nation. Scripture tells us that God gives wisdom to anyone who asks for it. Maria and I will use this day to pray for wisdom as we continue navigating the challenges ahead. We invite every Tennessean to join us on October 15th for the day of prayer and fasting. Engage your family and your neighbors around the block, or even host a Zoom call with friends or your church family. You will hear more as the day approaches, and we look forward to again taking a day to acknowledge our blessings, to seek wisdom and mercy, and give thanks for the 6.8 million Tennesseans who call our state home. I'll see you soon.
More News Leader is coming up in just a moment.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tulahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Welcome back. The Tulahoma Wildcats were supposed to play Nolensville, but they had to cancel because of COVIDville at the Nolensville school. We asked Coach Olive to explain how the last-minute matchup between Brainerd and Chattanooga happened.
How in the world, John, did we get from a game against Nolensville to a forfeit to a homecoming game that wasn't going to happen to Chattanooga Brainerd showing up here last night to play football?
There were a lot of moving pieces. Is all I
bet
can
there
tell you
were.
is that,
I'll say congratulations to you, sir.
You know, it was a situation of we get contacted by Nolensville that they're not going to be able to play. They've got 12 players that have been put into quarantine by contact tracing.
Right.
And so we immediately started calling schools. At the same time, we're talking with Giles County because Nolensville wants to cancel their non-region game with Franklin and come to us on the 23rd. And so we're talking with Giles County about, will you let us out of a contract that we have with you so that we can play a region game against Nolensville on the 23rd. And at the same time, we're contacting schools in Huntsville. We've contacted a school in Muscle Shoals, all the way down to about 30 minutes above Birmingham. We contacted various schools. We went the other direction as well, contacting schools, both public and private, and
trying to play a game.
Trying to get on the field and play a game because we knew this coming week we're off. And we have young men that are already, they and their families have already made plans, and
right.
We weren't going to put ourselves in that situation of playing on October the 9th, and we didn't want to go 3 weeks before we played again. Right. And the biggest thing is our young men, they want to play. They want to play football.
Yeah.
So we're still able to play, and we were looking around anyway. Coach Ward at Chattanooga Brainerd used to be at Whites Creek in Nashville, and we scrimmaged them because he and Devin DeLotte are really good friends. And so anyway, when I contacted him, he says, well, you know what, Coach? That'd be a good trip for us to take. And
good for him.
He said, this is my situation. And his situation was the person they were supposed to play, which I think was Signal Mountain, was trying to break a contract with another school to play them next Friday. And so everything was hinging on, is that other school going to let Signal Mountain out of their contract?
Right.
If they are, Brainerd's not coming to us because they can't pick up and play 11 ball games.
Right.
You can take a forfeit and end up with 11 wins, but you can't take you can't play 11 regular season ball games. And finally, the other school would not let Signal Mountain out of the contract, and Coach Ward called us at around noontime on Thursday and says, I've got a bus and we're coming your way.
That's great.
And so that's how it came together, and 2020 is all I can tell you.
That's it. That's it.
We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
Here at Stan McNally Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tulahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNally, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in the event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNally Collision Center.
It's time for every family and business in Tulahoma to go green and recycle. Tulahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tulahoma, and recycle.
Welcome back. On this week's edition of the Tulahoma Area Chamber of Commerce What Do You Say Wednesday, Faith Few spoke with Billy Philpott about the 64th Annual Tulahoma Chamber Christmas Parade.
Hey everyone, and welcome to What Do You Say Wednesday. As always, I'm your host, Faith Few, the Marketing and Communications Coordinator here at the Chamber. So today we're going to talk about one of our most anticipated events, the 64th Annual Tulahoma Christmas Parade, sponsored by Stan McNabb Automotive. Today I have with me a longtime volunteer as well as a former parade grand marshal, Billy Philpott. Thank you for being here with us, Billy.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
So, how many years have you been helping with the Christmas parade?
You know, I was thinking about that coming on, and I'm not really sure. I just know that every year it's something I enjoy doing. I think maybe 13 or 14. But I'm not really sure.
Okay.
We'd have to check the records. No, we want to be accurate.
Okay, gotcha. Well, you know, this is, I think last year we celebrated 100 years of Christmas parade. Was that correct? Was it 100 years, y'all? I don't know.
I think that's probably right. I need to go back and check the history.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
A very long, well, we just said it's the 64th annual. There's not been 100. I'm laughing so hard. I'm talking about chamber history, not parade history. Whoops. Okay. Anyway, 100 years is a big deal, and that's what we're working towards in 2021. But anyway, 64 years of Tulahoma Christmas Parade. And what year were you the Grand Marshal?
That was 3 years ago, I believe.
3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years. It came as a total surprise. I never even thought about it.
Well, we know it was very well deserved for sure.
Thank you. I enjoyed doing it and always enjoy it. Look forward to the Christmas parade every year.
It's so much fun. It's a great event. We couldn't do it without you, that's for sure.
Thank you.
So, do you have a favorite parade theme that sticks out in your mind?
Oh, I kind of liked the one last year. And tell me what it was. I can't remember. No, they've all been good.
Yes.
And you know, we take a long time discussing what the parade theme should be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everyone was very fitting for the time.
Absolutely.
And was well received by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think we can say that because of the participation.
Yes.
People, you know, one of the things they have to decide what they're going to do as far as their float is dovetail that in with the theme.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we've had over 100 participants every year since I've been involved in it.
Yes.
And so evidently people like the themes that we pick.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just hope that will be true this year.
Yes, and so last year was a record-breaking Christmas parade with 110 entries.
Yes.
And the theme was Santa's Workshop on Jackson. So that was a really great parade, and it was so much fun seeing 110 different floats go down North Jackson here. So speaking of themes, we have decided to let our city schools submit their theme ideas this year. So we're going to do this in partnership with our CEO program. So CEO contacts, be on the lookout for a special email with information on how to submit your school's theme. Details will also be posted in our special CEO Facebook group. So be on the lookout for that. And you know, with all the crazy stuff that's happened this year, we understand that safety is a top priority for everybody. So we are actively working on a plan to keep everybody safe. We'll be monitoring CDC guidelines for a happy and healthy 64th annual Christmas parade sponsored by Stan McNabb Automotive. So once again, we do want to thank our title sponsor, Stan McNabb, for always supporting us and your continued support through the years and for years to come. So you guys be on the lookout for more information about the Christmas parade and info and registration details. We'll have those relatively soon, I'd say within the next half month to month. So be on the lookout for that, y'all. Billy, do you have any additional thoughts?
I just, no, not really, except that I'm excited that we have decided to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody, I've been asked that question several times here recently because of the pandemic.
Yes.
And now we can tell everybody that
We're so excited.
hopefully going to do it unless
Yes.
something drastic changes. And so let's just get prepared for it, get excited, and celebrate this Christmas. And you know, if we can do it, we have a lot to be thankful for and a lot to celebrate. Not just Christmas,
Right.
but the fact that we've made it through this pandemic.
Yes, I cannot agree with you more, Billy.
Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tulahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tulahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tulahoma. Come see the paint doctor stat.
I'm Marley Matlin for the American Red Cross. In an emergency, infants and children can't always tell you what's wrong. Being able to read critical signs and knowing how to respond can make all the difference. The Red Cross offers infant and child CPR training, where you can learn how to recognize and respond to respiratory and cardiac emergencies. Visit www.redcross.org or call 1-800-HELP-NOW. Together, we can save a life.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 2007 at 88 degrees. The record low was in 1991 at 30 degrees. The average high on this day is 74, and the average low is 50. Cloudy weather in the forecast for tonight with a low of 61. Cloudy weather continues in the forecast for Friday with a high of 75 and a low of 64. Thunderstorms moving in on Saturday with a high of 74 and a low of 66. And that's our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.